today by Adam Copeland. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome in to American Legion Baseball, Heritage Legion style here from Milbank, South Dakota. A rousing rendition of our national anthem sung by Adam Copeland from Milbank. So we've got Milbank Post 9 against Volga Post 114. Good evening on your Saturday, baseball fans. I'm Chad Knowles. Glad to be along on KMSD, AM, FM, and BigStoneRadio.com. We're going to step aside and we will run our video sponsors right now, so we're just going to step aside and we'll be right back.
Crew offer the best mechanic service, along with a full lineup of Ford vehicles. They pride themselves on the honest and friendly way of doing business. Check out MilbankFord.com to see what they have to offer, or stop by Milbank Ford, West Highway 12, Milbank.
Whimsy on Main makes it easy to find unique gifts for all occasions. Whimsy specializes in packages specific to your gift-giving needs. Shop in store for books, home toys, games, and more, Monday through Saturday, or online at whimsyonmain.com. Let Whimsy on Main be your one-stop gift shop on Main Street, Milbank.
This broadcast brought to you locally by Dennis Mears, financial advisor with Legacy Financial Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Your future is counting on the right financial advice.
Welcome back. Milbank has just taken the field here defensively, so let's set Milbank defensively for you. In left field, Caleb Lindstrom. In center field, Jackson Weesey. Over in right field, Aiden Kelly. Around the infield, Milbank at third, Bennett Hunt, Brady Allen at short, Mason Allen at second, Matt Copeland at first. Zach Cargus is on the bump, and behind the mound, or behind the plate, is catcher Tyler Heinge. Milbank, of course, coached by Ron Kraus. He's assisted by Caden Kraus, and let's give you the Volga Post 114 starting lineup. They will bat this way. Shortstop Kellen Tucker. Braden Teskey will bat number 2. He's pitching. Batting number 3, the first baseman Brett Milton. Batting number 4, the center fielder Braden Danzeson. Batting number 5 at third base, Wyatt Hart. Batting number 6 in left field, Isaac Skovlin. Batting number 7 at second base, Trenton Schmidt. Batting number 8 in right field, number 27, Miles Antonin. And batting number 9 and catching, number 41, Reagan Schwartz. Post 114 is coached by Ben Blees, Brock Teskey, and Jason Skovlin. Again, Milbank coached by Ron Kraus and Caden Kraus. So, we are getting set to go here. A beautiful sun-splashed sky here in Milbank on your Saturday night. Now that we've turned into Saturday night, we'll get you a first pitch temperature here. We'll call that up very shortly. Meanwhile, the pitch is thrown in for a ball. First pitch, 5:59 here tonight. A beautiful 75 degrees on the outside yet. Under a sun-splashed sky, like we said. Just a light breeze at 4 miles an hour. That's your game time temperature and weather report here. So the 1-1 count now to Kellen Tucker. There's a swing and a miss. So Zach Kargas ahead now, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Volga leadoff batter. And here's the pitch now from Kargas. That's across the plate, but a little bit high and outside. Evens up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, I don't know if you could paint a picture much better than this weather-wise here today. 2 balls and 2 strikes, a mile-high pop-up on the infield. Brady Allen from shortstop has a beat on it. Brady Allen squeezes it, so Kellen Tucker is the opening out as he pops out to short to Brady Allen.
16,
And that'll bring up number 16 now, the guy on the bump defensively tonight. Gets the starting nod, Broden Teskey for Volga. Here's the Zach Kargas pitch. There's a foul back out of play. Not quite windshield territory out in the parking lot, but out in the asphalt parking lot nonetheless. So no balls and 1 strike now to the Volga pitcher, Broden Teskey. Here's the pitch from Kargas. That's a curveball, hangs inside. 1 ball and 1 strike now to number 16, Volga in their dark jersey tops, white numerals, white gray baseball pants. Here comes the Kargas pitch. There's a fly into left center field. Jackson Weesey coming in saying, I got it. Jackson puts it away in center field. So 2 up and 2 down quickly here for Volga.
It's Jackson's birthday today.
And we want to also wish a happy birthday, by the way, to Jackson Weesey today. So there you go, Jackson. Hope you have a good birthday. Hopefully you're having a good birthday. Public address announcer Craig Weinberg gave me that information, so thanks to him for keeping me up on the birthday beat here tonight. And that's number 17 now in the batter's box, first baseman Brett Milton. 1 ball and no strikes to Milton. There's a foul back to the screen. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, this tournament ends tomorrow, and we will not know literally the lineups for tomorrow's games until after tonight's game. So I'm going to try to stay on the air a little bit longer tonight so we can tell you who's playing and when. The 1-1, that's on the ground to third, picked up over there by Bennett Hunt. Nice play going toward shortstop. 3 up and 3 down for Volga here in the top of the first inning. Half an inning is done here in Milbank, and it is Volga 0, Milbank coming to bat. We're going to break once again for our video sponsors here this evening.
Internet for making your home a business. ITC pairs unbeatable speed with local support to provide an exceptional customer experience. Get started today with ITC, your community-connected cooperative.
Smoke breaks take time. Time away from defining moments in life. His moment of glory was your moment. Wasted. Fewer moments wasted. More good years.
Pro Image Partners. So many reasons why you can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. ProImagePartners.com.
Ortonville Area Health Services. Our mission? At Ortonville Area Health Services, we provide personalized, high-quality, and compassionate care through caring professionals in a healing environment. Your healthcare home, Ortonville Area Health Services.
And And welcome back out to Milbank's beautiful Legion Field. Let's set Volga's defense for you. In left field, Isaac Skovland. In center, Braden Danzisen. Over in right field is Miles Antonin. Around the infield for Volga is Wyatt Hart at third base, Kellen Tucker at short. Second base is Trenton Schmidt. Over at first is Brett Milton. Behind the dish is Reagan Schwartz. And on the bump is number 16, right-handed pitcher, Broden Teskey.
Mason Allen.
And Milbank will send up Mason Allen, Zach Cargus, and Aiden Kelly here in the top of the first. Again, welcome aboard. You're listening to Classic Hits 95.1 KMSD FM, 1510 AM KMSD, Milbank, South Dakota, and our YouTube page, streaming audio and video. Mason Allen slaps the single into left field. So Mason Allen is aboard. Mason in last night's win over Claremont, the 11-1 win, Mason had a single and a couple of RBIs. That'll bring up Zach Cargus now, who last night had a single, reached on a fielder's choice, walked, reached on an error, scored 3 runs. Cargus takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike from the Volga right-hander, Broden Teskey. Mason Allen with his inning opening single here in the bottom of the first, standing at first. Throw over there. That's a pretty nice move there by Teskey, but not too far off the bag that time was Mason. But Mason has a lot of speed, so probably expect to see number 7 on the move here, but we'll wait and see. The 0-1 now upcoming from Teskey. There he goes, and that was a hit and run. And Mason Allen couldn't locate the ball, so now they're going to throw behind him and tag him out. So Cargus flew out to center field, and Mason Allen, who was on the move, couldn't locate the ball, or didn't locate the ball, and center fielder Braden Danzisen threw behind him and doubled him off at first base.
Right fielder, number 22, Aiden Kelly.
So now there's 2 outs and the bases are empty for Milbank. And there's a strike to Aiden Kelly. Aiden Kelly last night, 3 singles, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. What a stat line last night for Aiden Kelly in the 11-1 win. Here's the pitch. That is a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike now to number 22. 1 ball, 1 strike to Aiden Kelly, and here's the pitch. That's a pop-up. Catcher has it located, but he can't come down with it, so new life is given to Aiden Kelly for now as he gets at least 1 extra pitch here. So we'll see if Aiden can take advantage here with the extra at least 1 pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the pair of 2s. Aiden Kelly, as Broden Teskey takes a long look in. Here's the pitch. That is outside. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Aiden Kelly. No score. Bottom of the first here. Heritage Classic Baseball Tournament here in Milbank. And earlier today, Siston beat Redfield 10-5. Parkston over Groton 4-1. Redfield defeated Wynn 9-1, and Castlewood in 5 innings defeated Parkston defeated Castlewood 8-0. Aiden Kelly gets a walk.
That's going to bring up first baseman number 11, Matt Copeland.
And that will now bring up number 11, Mac Copeland, left-handed batting first baseman. Mac last night reached all 3 times, did not get 1 single hit last night. He walked all 3 times for the first baseman, so he was on base all 3 times with a 0-for-0 stat line last night. Here's the pitch to Copeland. That's a strike. No balls and 1 strike now to Mac. 2 outs, Aiden Kelly at first, Copeland at the dish. An 0-1 count. Here it is. That's on the other side of Mac that time, literally, and Kelly goes into second base. Standing up. They wanted to make Mac a right-handed batter that time. Mac is a natural left-handed batter, but that was on the other side of Mac. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Mac Copeland. And Kelly on second. Now Mac takes a mighty rip and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the Milbank first baseman. If Mac reaches base, Bennett Hunt will come to the plate. 1 and 2 now to Mac Copeland. Here's Teskey's pitch. Copeland fouls that one off behind home plate. Over our heads here in the press box. So the count rides along now. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mac Copeland. Here it is. Mac on the ground to second base. Trenton Schmidt up with it. Over to first. The out is complete. So Aiden Kelly gets stranded at second base. So Milbank does not come up with any runs in the bottom of the first. So 1 inning complete. Legion Heritage Baseball here from Milbank. And we've got no score between Milbank and Volga. We'll be back with more coming up right after this.
A pharmacy that knows you by name. At Bean Pharmacy, your well-being is their priority. Stop in for fast, friendly service, convenient drive-through pickup, and a full line of durable medical equipment to keep you moving. Need a quick refill? Submit your prescription anytime online at beanpharmacy.com. Bean Pharmacy, where patients come first. Find them inside the Avera Medical Center in Milbank. Bean Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy with a personal touch, because caring for you is what they do best.
Haslam Construction in Ortonville, Minnesota is known for their quality work. Additions to the Valley Queen Cheese Factory and First Bank and Trust, St. Lawrence School, Milbank Elementary, Ortonville Area Health Services, and the Big Stone County Highway Department Garage, and so many other projects over the years. They are known for their quality work and professionalism on the job. That's what makes Haslam Construction the contractor you want for your building project. Go with the people you trust. Haslam Construction, Ortonville, Minnesota.
And welcome back here to Milbank. I'm Chad Knowles tonight on the microphone. Glad to be along with you here. Jana back at our studios. Braden Dan Zeeson, the 4th place hitter for Volga, stands in the batter's box now. Left-handed batter against Zach Kargas. Here's the pitch. There's a pop fly into short left field. And Brady Allen and Lindstrom both go after it, and neither one comes up with it. As that's going to drop in for Braden Dan Zeeson. I'm thinking that has to be an error somewhere along the way, because both players, Brady Allen from shortstop, Caleb Lindstrom comes charging in from left field, and neither one could come up with it. So we'll see now if Volga takes advantage of that. Wyatt Hart in the batter's box now, third baseman number 22. Here's the pitch to Wyatt, low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Dan Zeeson standing over at first for Volga. Wyatt Hart in the batter's box for the visitors here tonight. Volga, post 114, and the 1-0 pitch now. Kargas snap throw over to first. Dan Zeeson dives back in safely. We'll see if Dan Zeeson is on the move now. No, he's not. Squaring to bunt and hitting it foul, and that got home plate umpire Ronnie Krause Jr. I don't know if it hit him kind of under the mask or where, but Ronnie Krause. You know, I've broadcast a lot of Legion games here in Milbank. Ronnie Krause is a home plate umpire a lot of times, and you know, that young man takes more of a beating, I think, than I have ever seen any umpire probably ever take, at least in my tenure of broadcasting here. I can't speak before I was here, but Ronnie Krause Jr. is certainly a warrior behind home plate. There is no doubt about that. Looks like Ronnie Jr. is going to be okay. 1-1 the count now to Wyatt Hart. And here's the Kargas pitch. That's fouled back to the screen. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score, top of the second inning. Milbank and Volga, 5th and final game on this Saturday here from Milbank. And the Zach Cargus pitch, here it is. There's a swing and a foul back to the retaining wall behind home plate, so the count goes along. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, your dimensions here in Milbank, 307 down the left field line, 304 to right field down the line, 372 to the left center power alley, 372 to straightaway center, 390 to right center. And there is a pop-up on the infield. Now let's see who's got it. Second baseman Mason Allen squeezes that one. So Wyatt Hart pops out to second base. Mason Allen. Younger brother Brady from shortstop was also coming over, but he kind of just stopped and let Mason put that one in his glove. So now 1 out. Dan Zeeson still at first. Isaac Skovlin down the batter's box for Volga, the left fielder. There's the pitch. That's a fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Skovlin, who wears number 7. Ironically, that's his defensive fielding position too, number 7 in left field. So 1 ball and no strikes now to Skovlin. Here's the pitch. That is right at the knees for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Isaac Skovlin. Trenton Schmidt waits on deck for Volga. No score, top of the second inning. And Cargus comes to the set now with the runner on first. Here's the pitch. There's a little hit into short right field, and that's going to drop in front of right fielder Aiden Kelly. So station to station now. Dan Zeeson is in at second. Isaac Skovlin is on at first with a single. And that'll bring up number 24 now, Trenton Schmidt, the second baseman for Volga. Volga threatening here. Runners on first and second. Only 1 out. Top of the second. No score yet. Cargus long look back to second. There's the pitch. That's a beauty right across home plate. Trenton Schmidt takes it for a strike. No ball and 1 strike. The count to number 24. Zach Cargus comes to the set now. And here's the right-hander's pitch. That's hit the other way into right field too, but out of play, foul. So getting around way late on it that time and shooting it out to the right is right-handed batter Trenton Schmidt. So Cargus ahead now, no balls and 2 strikes. Runners on first and second for Volga. 1 out. Cargus comes to the set. Here's number 21's pitch. That's going to get away from the catcher. Now Heinge couldn't locate it right away, but Tyler gets back on it. So there was base advancement, though. Dan Zeeson to third, Skovlin to second. And a 1-2 count now to Trenton Schmidt. So Volga threatening to crack that proverbial goose egg first here. We'll see what Cargus can do. Here's the 1-2. There's a swing and a miss. So if you can say huge strikeout, that's a huge strikeout right there for the Milbank right-handed pitcher, Zach Cargus. And that brings to the plate now number 27, the right fielder, Miles Antonin for Volga. And the Cargus pitch, that's a beauty. That's a swing and a miss. I think that would have been probably called a strike anyway, but that's a moot point now because the swing and the miss, no ball and 1 strike. Runners on second and third for Volga with 2 outs, and the Cargus 0-1. Here it is. There's a swing and a miss on the inside fastball that time. So Zach way ahead now. No balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if he can wiggle out of this second and third jam with only 1 out. There's second and third. There's 2 outs, and the 0-2 pitch upcoming from Zach Cargus. Here it is. There's a swing and a miss. Zach does get out of it. Back-to-back strikeouts to close an inning and a half. 1.5 innings. Volga leaves 2 on base, comes up empty in the run department, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more Legion Baseball coming up next.
Pain, see Dr. Matt at Chiropractic in Motion. With a minor adjustment, headaches, numbness, and pain can be relieved. Dr. Matt is the type of chiropractor that helps his patients by correcting the problem with as few visits as possible. Chiropractic in Motion looks forward to seeing their customers outside of the office, enjoying their lifestyle with a smile. The next time you have aches and pains, count on the helping hands of Dr. Matt. He's there when you need him. Chiropractic in Motion Sports Injury and Family Wellness Center, Highway 12, Milbank.
Lewis Family Drug is your one-stop location. In addition to quality prescription and non-prescription drugs with free delivery, Lewis has a huge selection of everyday basics and name brands and specialty items, always at affordable prices. They carry seasonal items, fabrics, crafts, and groceries. Shopping at your local Lewis Drug is more simple and more rewarding than ever. Download the Lewis mobile app to add on-the-go convenience to your errands. Lewis Family Drug. Everyday savings close to home.
And welcome back to still a sun-splashed field here in Milbank. Again, over the left field wall, Farley Fest is going on, the big celebration here every year in Milbank. Of course, such a beautiful day and weekend to be out and about. Of course, it was a little bit breezy yesterday, but the wind cut down considerably today. So what a gorgeous day. Hopefully you had a chance to take advantage of some of that in some way or some shape or form. Because it was a gorgeous day today. We were at Farley Fest all day, and I called the game earlier today, one of them, and I will be calling this one now, but getting to spend a lot of my day outside, which is just fine with me. Bennett Hunt now in the batter's box to start the bottom of the second inning here for Milbank. Bennett Hunt in last night's victory. He walked or was hit by a pitch and scored a run. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Bennett Hunt. Leading off the bottom of the second, Broden Teskey getting set to deal now for Volga. Here's the 1-1. There's a swing and a miss by Hunt. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the Milbank third baseman. And here's the 1-2. There's a hit into left field. Charging in, actually going out in the left field is the shortstop, Kellen Tucker. And he makes the catch. That'll bring up now Brady Allen, the shortstop, number 3.
Brady Allen.
Brady in last night's game got credit for a fielder's choice RBI, and he walked. So Brady Allen now in the batter's box. Base is empty, 1 out. That pitch over the plate, but just a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes to the Milbank shortstop. And here's the 1-0. That's going to be inside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Brady Allen ahead here now. 2 balls and no strikes. And here comes the 2-0. That's going to be a strike at the knees from Broden Teskey. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to Brady Allen. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. No score, Milbank and Volga. Here's a hit into left field, and that is going to be pretty much right at left fielder Isaac Skovland, and he makes the catch. Brady hit that one pretty good, but Skovland had him scoped out or scouted out pretty good. He was playing pretty much right in the right spot. And that's going to bring up Tyler Heinge now, who reached on an error last night. He got hit by a pitch and walked and scored a run. And there Tyler gets hit again. Tyler Heinge gets hit in the middle of the back. Hopefully Tyler's okay. So that's Tyler's second time he's been hit by a pitch here in this tournament. That one looked perhaps like it might have been just a little bit more painful than the one last night, but who am I to say? I'm sitting up here. So Tyler's at first base now with 2 outs. And that'll bring up now Caleb Lindstrom. Caleb last night had a single and a run scored in 3 trips to the plate. Again, welcome aboard wherever you are tonight, watching on our YouTube channel or listening on 95.1 or 1510 AM, wherever you are. Welcome aboard, each and every one of you, as there's a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Caleb Lindstrom. If Caleb keeps the half inning alive, Jackson Weesey comes to the dish. The 1-1, that's a curveball, and that stays low that time. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Caleb Lindstrom. Here's the 2-1. Lindstrom, that's going to be kind of a tough play. The pitcher off the mound, and he throws wildly to first base. And Caleb Lindstrom and the first baseman kind of collide. Now this throw to second, there's going to be no throw to second. So Caleb Lindstrom and first baseman Brett Milton were on a big collision course there that time. And Caleb Lindstrom reaches because of the throwing error by the pitcher, Broden Teskey. Broden fielded his position pretty well that time, but fired a high errant throw to first base.
The birthday boy, number 12, center fielder Jackson Weesey.
And that'll bring up Jackson Weesey now for Milbank. Jackson last night had 3 walks, 3 runs scored, and an RBI. So Jackson, technically no stat line last night, but 3 walks and 3 runs scored. Milbank's center fielder takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes now with runners on second and third. And that ball's going to get away from the catcher, and sliding in with the run is Tyler Heinge. So now the scoreboard reads Milbank post 9-1, Volga post 1-14-0, and advancing to third in the meantime is Caleb Lindstrom. So Jackson Weesey now is in the batter's box with a 2-ball, no strike count, with Lindstrom at third, and it's 1-0 Milbank. And the Teskey pitch, that's high and outside on the fastball. Again, tomorrow's action will be decided after this game right here. So we do not know exactly who plays and who plays who and who plays when tomorrow. 3 balls, no strikes. There's a strike at the knees of Weesey. So I'm going to try to stay on the air as long as I need to here after the game tonight to try to figure out, well, I'm not going to figure out, some other people obviously will, but we'll relay the information to you. Here's the 3-1. That's a jam shot that's fouled out of play back over our heads. So fills up the count now to Jackson Weesey. Here in the bottom of the second, Milbank has gone ahead here 1-0 in the bottom of the second. And here's the Teskey pitch now to Weesey. That is a ball. Jackson takes a walk. And we... And that'll bring up now the top of the order, and Mason Allen. Mason Allen singled last half inning. Was out though on a double play trying to get back to first. So there's the pitch to Allen, and that is going to get over the left fielder's head. 1 run is going to score. They're going to wave Weesey around, and there's going to be 2 more runs scored for post 9 on a 2-run double, stinging double to left field by Mason Allen that was over the left fielder Isaac Scoveland's head. So a 2 RBI double. Caleb Lindstrom comes in to score. Jackson Weesey right behind him. And it is now 3-0 Milbank. As Zach Cargus comes to the dish, Zach flew out to center field. He's 0 for 1 here tonight. And that pitch gets away from the catcher, and advancing to third is Mason Allen. So Broden Teskey is running his catcher, Reagan Schwartz, around a few different times here tonight so far. And it has actually allowed some Milbank runners at the time to advance. So we'll see now what happens here, but there are 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be high on the fastball. 2 balls and no strikes now to Zach Kargas. And there's a little dribbler out to short. Kellen Tucker up with it over to first, and the out is complete. But Milbank, damage done in the bottom of the second inning as they plate 3. And they take a 3-0 lead over Volga in the City of Milbank Heritage Tournament. We'll be back with more of it on KMSD and our YouTube channel right after these.
Just a dealership. It's part of your journey. Whether you're cruising toward adventure or hauling hometown pride, they've got the ride to get you there. Stop in and explore their lineup of tough F-Series trucks, fuel-efficient SUVs, and family-ready crossovers, all backed by local service you can count on. The road starts in Milbank, but it could take you anywhere. Come and find your Ford today at Milbank Ford, where small-town trust meets big-time value.
Border Lake Insurance in Milbank and Ortonville is your locally owned independent insurance agency. As an independent insurance agency, Gary Holquist and staff at Border Lake Insurance have access to multiple companies that offer home, farm, auto, commercial, life, and health products. Border Lake Insurance has 2 convenient locations. Stop by or call their Main Street office in Milbank at 605-432-5884. Or in Ortonville, call 320-839-6145. Located in Grand Marais State Bank, formerly the Sen Bank Building. Border Lake Insurance. Insurance agents you can count on.
And welcome back into Milbank. Milbank does crack the goose egg, and they hang a 3 spot in the bottom of the second inning to take a 3-0 lead over Volga here in this City of Milbank Heritage Baseball Legion Tournament. Volga comes to the dish now in the top of the 3rd inning. Top of the 3rd inning, 1 ball and no strikes now to Regan Schwartz, the 9th place batter for Volga. Here comes the 1-0 from Kargas. That's outside, so 2 balls and no strikes now. Again, we turn the top of the lineup, and Kellen Tucker up next here for Volga, post 114. So the 2-ball, no strike pitch now upcoming from Zach Kargas. Here it is. That's a strike at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Reagan Schwartz. Here it is. There's a curveball, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Schwartz way in front of that. Kargas offering that time, swinging and missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 now. Kargas taking a long time. Here's the 2-2. That is just missed the outside corner that time to fill up the count now to Reagan Schwartz. So the payoff pitch now to Schwartz. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Kargas' 3rd strikeout in a row now. Those are his 3 tonight, but dating back to last half inning, he's mowed down the last 3 versus strikeout, or via strikeout, I should say. That'll bring up Kellen Tucker now, who popped out to short. So Tucker 0 for 1 here tonight for Volga. And the pitch from Kargas, that's on the ground. Brady Allen just about gets the second hop, sticks with it. And that is going to allow Kellen Tucker to reach base safely. Yeah, boy, I don't know if that's going to have...
Number 16, Broden Teskey.
I don't know if that's going to have to be an error on Brady or if we give a hit.
Looked like an error to me.
Okay, I heard from the guys off to my left here, that looks like an error. So we're going to put an error up there. And here's the pitch. That's low and inside, to Broden Teskey. Broden back in the first, flew out to center, so he's 0 for 1. Tucker on first with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. There goes the runner to second. Good jump. Throw down to second on the right field side of second base and sliding in under the tag. Actually, there was no tag because the catch had to be made, like we said, to the right field side of second base. So into second is Kellen Tucker with the stolen base. And a 2-0 count now to Broden Teskey. Milbank up here 3-0. And here's the pitch from Kargas. That sails high that time on the fastball. So Zach behind here now, 3 balls and no strikes to Teskey, his mound opponent tonight. 3 balls and no strikes, and that's high. So a 4-pitch walk to Broden Teskey, and staying at second is actually into third is Kellen Tucker. So that's where he is now for Volga with 1 out. He must have kind of delayed Stoll or something that time anyway. Tucker's at third. Teskey's at first. Brett Milton's in the batter's box now. As he grounded out to third, he's 0 for 1 here tonight. And the Kargas pitch now to Milton. He squares to bunt. And the throw goes through to second base, and that is not in time. Here comes the home guy home, and that's going to be a safe slide as well. So some fancy base running that time by Volga. Kellen Tucker comes in to score. Broden Teskey goes into second base, and it is now 3-1. Milbank is leading, and their lead has been cut to 2. So let me try to explain that if you're just tuning in. What happened was Broden Teskey took off with the pitch. Tyler Heinze threw the ball down to second base, and that got away from Milbank's fielders, and then they tried to throw home. As breaking for home was Kellen Tucker. He slid in safely, so that's how they got their run. Anyway, here's a pop fly out of play to the right. So no balls and 1 strike. Now to Brett Milton, the first baseman. Again, Milbank is leading here 3-1 on an absolutely gorgeous Saturday night, June 20th here in Milbank, South Dakota. Kargas comes to the set now for Milbank, and here's the pitch. That's into left field for a single. Are they going to send the runner? Nope, they're not going to send the runner from third. But Brett Milton takes the wide turn at first with his single, and stopping at third is Broden Teskey. And that now will bring up Braden Danzeason. Danzeason reached on an error. And now catcher Tyler Heinze is relaying some signs to his fielders. Volga now mounting a threat here. Runners on first and third. Volga has scored 1 so far here in the top of the third, threatening for more. And the Kargas throw over to first base. That's not held on to by Copeland anyway, but sliding back in safely is Brett Milton. So now Kargas comes to the set here for Milbank. Here's the pitch. There goes the runner to second. Heinze throws through, but Kargas cuts it off. And the runner Teskey stays at third. So Brett Milton gets the stolen base. He's at second. So now the potential tying run is standing out at second base with a 1-0 count to left-handed batting Braden Danzeason for Volga. And the 1-0 from Kargas, here it is. That's hit into center field. That's a single. 1 run is going to score. Weese throws it in, cut off by Copeland behind the pitcher's mound. So Broden Teskey scores. They They move station to station. Going to third is Brett Milton. RBI single belongs to Braden Danzeson. And it is now 3-2. Volga is creeping closer. And here is a mound visit now by Coach Caden Kraus for Milbank. We want to thank our sponsors in the meantime, the Millstone Family Restaurant, Avera Milbank Medical Center, Milbank Area Hospital Avera, Milbank Tobacco Coalition, 203 Realty, Bean Pharmacy, Haslam Construction, Milbank Ford, Border Lake Insurance, Ortonville Area Health Services, Dakota Country Ag Service, Chiropractic in Motion, Lewis Family Drug Pro Image Partners, ITC, and Schmidt's Landing. Thank you to each and every one of those fine folks for bringing you Milbank Legion Baseball all season long here. And that now will bring up Wyatt Hart with runners at the corners and still only one out for Volga. It's 3-2, and there goes the runner to second. Not even a throw down by Heinge that time. So Braden Danzeson slides head first into second base. So now Volga again, runners at second and third. And a 2-0 count now to Hart. Here's the pitch. Kargas takes a little speed off of that one. 3 balls and no strikes now to number 22. The third baseman tonight for Volga, Wyatt Hart. And here's the 2-0 now. That's high and in to Hart on the fastball. First base for now is unoccupied for Volga, but of course if you're Milbank, you'd like to keep it unoccupied. But it's a 3-0 count now to Wyatt Hart. And here's the pitch. That's a strike at the knees. Hart evidently taking all the way that time on 3-0. So it's 3-1 now with Milton at third, Danzeson at second. And it's 3-2 Milbank. Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a foul at the plate. So Kargas battling back now after falling behind. 3 balls and no strikes. It's a full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the payoff pitch upcoming here to Wyatt Hart. And here it is. That's a hit into left field, and that's going to be a single as well. Another run is going to score. Throw comes through to home. Brett Milton scores. Stopping at third is Danzeson. Wyatt Hart with an RBI single. So now Volga has hit 3 singles in a row. Broden Teskey before that walked. Kellen Tucker reached on an error. So Volga still with 1 out and runners at the corners. And now it is 3 apiece. And Isaac Skovland, who singled back in the second inning, excuse me. There goes the runner again to second base. So Volga obviously very, very active on the base paths. I guess maybe that's the understatement. Has the full count now. Payoff pitch upcoming here to Skovland. And, well, let's see here. It's 2-0, I beg your pardon, to Isaac Skovland. So here's the 2-0 now from Kargas. That's a strike at the knees. So Hart at second, Danzeson at third. Danzeson representing the go-ahead run here in the top of the third inning. Volga has pushed across 3 here so far in the top of the third. And here's the pitch from Kargas. There's a pop-up to second base. Mason Allen puts it in the glove, and if you're Milbank, of course, that's a huge out, as there's no advancement by anybody. So Trenton Schmidt now gets into the batter's box. He struck out last half inning, 0 for 1. So runners at second and third for Volga, but now there's 2 outs. And here's the pitch. That is across the plate but low. 1 ball and no strikes to Trenton Schmidt. And the 1-0 now upcoming from Cargus. Here it is. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes. So Cargus throwing a lot of pitches here this half inning. Here's the 2-0. That is a little bit low. 3 balls and no strikes. Again, Volga has pushed across 3 across home plate here so far in the top of the third. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Now there's a strike right down the center of the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike to Trenton Schmidt. 2 outs, but runners at second and third now for Volga. Here's the 3-1. There's a mile-high pop-up down the left field line, and that is going to be given chase by no less than 3 Milbank players, and none of them can reach it because it goes out of play. So count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Volga's Trenton Schmidt. Here's the payoff. That is low and outside. Gets away from Heinze, but not far enough for the runner from third base to come in. So Trenton Schmidt walks to load up the bases now for Volga. And Volga has batted around here now in the top of the third inning as Miles Antonin comes to the batter's box. A little conversation now between catcher Tyler Heinze and pitcher Zach Cargus for post 9. As Volga has come to life here in the top of the third. They've answered Milbank's 3 so far in the bottom of the second with 3 of their own here in the top of the third. Now the little conference between Heinze and Cargus is over with. And let's see if Milbank can stop the bleeding right here or if Volga will continue getting base hits. Miles Antonin struck out last half inning. So here's the Zach Cargus pitch now with the bases loaded. That's a ball on the fastball outside. So 1 ball and no strikes now to number 27, Miles Antonin. As Cargus now with the 1-0. Here it is. That's high on the fastball. So now Zach kind of walking on eggshells here. Bases are loaded and a 2-0 count to Miles Antonin. And here comes the Cargus offering. There's a swing and a miss by Antonin. He took a mighty whack at that one. He wanted to score himself plus 3 of his teammates on that swing. 2 balls and 1 strike to Antonin. And here comes the Cargus 2-1. That's a curveball, fastball, kind of curveball actually that stayed inside that time. So 3-1 now, no place to put Antonin. Runners at all 3 bases for Volga, and the 3-1 now from Cargus. Here it is. That is high, so an RBI. Bases loaded walk belongs to Miles Antonin, and Dan Zeeson comes in to touch home plate. Volga has scored their 4th in this half inning, and it is now 4-3 Volga. And that now will bring up Reagan Schwartz, who started this half inning with a strikeout. So, since Schwartz has come up, Volga has scored 4 runs here in the third. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball that stays high. So it is now 4-3 Volga. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a foul back out of, well, actually hits the top of the screen, or top of the netting, excuse me, right behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Volga catcher tonight. And the 1-1 now from Cargus. Here it is. That's a little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Zach laboring here a little bit in inning number 3, giving up 4 runs here so far in the half inning, and they still have the bases loaded. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing and a miss. So Cargus 1 good pitch away now from getting out of this jam. Or maybe I should say to stop the bleeding. That might be more accurate. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Reagan Schwartz. Again, the bases are all occupied with Volga runners, and here's the 2-2 from Kargas. Swinging late that time and hitting it off to the right foul is Schwartz. So the count continues. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Schwartz. As here comes the Kargas 2-2. That is right across the plate but low. Now the count is full. So the carousel should start here on the bases for Volga. Everybody should get an early start here on the 3-2 count, the full count with 2 outs. There they go. Here's the pitch. That's low, and that's going to be another run for Volga as Wyatt Hart comes in to score. And an RBI walk belongs to Schwartz. Schmidt to third, Antonin to second, and it is 5-3 Volga now, and there is going to be a pitching change as Coach Ron Kraus takes the ball from starting pitcher Zach Kargas, and it looks like Mac Copeland is going to be on the bump, but we'll catch up with everything. We're going to take this break for our video sponsors this time here right now.
The difference fiber-fast internet can make in your home or business. ITC pairs unbeatable speed with local support to provide an exceptional customer experience. Get started today with ITC, your community-connected cooperative.
Smoke breaks take time. Time away from defining moments in life. His moment of glory was your moment. Wasted. Fewer moments wasted. More good years.
Pro Image Partners. So many reasons why you can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. ProImagePartners.com.
Ortonville Area Health Services. Our mission? At Ortonville Area Health Services, we provide personalized, high-quality, and compassionate care through caring professionals in a healing environment. Your healthcare home, Ortonville Area Health Services.
And welcome back. We're going to try to catch up with some of the defensive changes. We can tell you that Matt Copeland is on the mound now as Zach Kargas goes 2 2/3 innings. And Tyler Heinge is going into left field, it looks like. Or maybe right. We'll have to wait and see. So Zach Kargas is the new catcher now. So he goes from the bump to behind the plate. So Aiden Kelly is at first now for Milbank. And Heinge is either in right or left. Well, Aiden Kelly is at first, so Heinge, I suppose, has to go into right. Nothing like trying to figure out positions live on the air. But now we got Tyler Heinge in right, Aiden Kelly at first, Zach Kargas behind the dish, Matt Copeland on the mound. All right, we're ready to go. Now, here is the 11th Volga batter in the half inning to come to the plate. That's Broden Teskey. And here's the pitch from Copeland. That's a strike after a ball. Kellen Tucker, I beg your pardon. Kellen Tucker, number 11, is in the batter's box now. Volga has scored 5 here so far. They take a 5-3 lead in the top of the third. And the lefty Copeland, here's the 1-1. That's a strike at the knees. Bases still full of Volga runners. Schmidt at third, Antonin at second, Schwartz at first, and Copeland ahead now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's see if Mac can stop the bleeding right here. Here's the 1-2. That's high on the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now from the Milbank left-hander, Mac Copeland. And here comes the 2-2. That is inside, and that gets away a little bit from the catcher Kargas, but not far enough for Trenton Schmidt to try to come in from third base. But now the count is full, and again, no place to put Kellen Tucker. So the payoff pitch now from Copeland. Here it is. There is a called third strike. And Kellen Tucker is the first strikeout victim of Matt Copeland. Volga does score 5, but they do still leave the bases loaded. So after 2.5, Volga 5, Milbank 3. We'll be back with more American Legion baseball from the Heritage Baseball Classic here in Milbank, South Dakota. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's breakfast time at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Milbank. The Millstone loves breakfast as much as you do, but they decided it's time to step up their breakfast game even more. Check out their new breakfast lunch, which includes blueberry French toast, the chicken and waffles breakfast sandwich, and their new line of eggs Benedict. It's all part of their new Shell Yeah breakfast menu at the Millstone Family Restaurant, East Highway 12 in Milbank.
We're passionate about getting yearly mammograms because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You can get a yearly mammogram to detect it early. Would it help if I requested nicely? Please, could you be so kind as to get a mammo? We're singing it. Get your mammogram starting at 40, or with a British accent. Schedule your mammo with an Avera Breast Center at avera.org/breast or call 888-422-1410.
And welcome back to Milbank. Well, a big top of the third for Volga. They score 5 runs and erase Milbank's 3-0 lead. It's 5-3 now, Volga. And Broden Teskey all of a sudden working with the lead now for post 114. And Milbank in the bottom of the third will send up Aiden Kelly, Matt Copeland, Bennett Hunt. So again, Milbank down here 5-3. And again, this tournament continues and concludes tomorrow here in Milbank. But again, we don't know any of the matchups until this game tonight is over. Then we'll try to get you the matchups for tomorrow, of course. Aiden Kelly has walked so far in this game. Here's the pitch. That's a strike to Aiden Kelly. And the 0-1 now from Teskey. Here it is. Kelly dribbles that one down the third base line. Foul. So Teskey way ahead now. No balls and 2 strikes to Aiden Kelly. Again, if you're just tuning in, first of all, welcome aboard. Second of all, Milbank is trailing here 5-3. There's another dribbler down the third base line, but foul once again. So Aiden Kelly hanging in tough with a no ball, 2 strike count. And here comes the pitch from Teskey. That's low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 now to Aiden Kelly. Here it is. That's way low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, that gets back all the way to the retaining wall behind home plate. But for Volga, there's no damage done on the bases because there are no Milbank runners on base. And the 2-2 now to Kelly. Here it is. There's a swing and a miss. High heat that time from Teskey. Kelly strikes out.
Brings up number 11, Matt Copeland.
That is Teskey's first strikeout here this evening. And that'll bring up the now pitcher for Milbank, Matt Copeland. Grounded out to second. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch to Copeland. That is outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Mac. Bennett Hunt waits on deck for post 9. And here's the Teskey 1-0. That's kind of a curveball that time that stayed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Copeland working into a hitter's count here. Here's the 2-0. Mack spoils that one out of play to the left. Getting around just a little bit too late on that one was the left-handed batter, Mack Copeland. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to Mack. And Broden Teskey comes to the stretch. Here's the righty's pitch. Copeland fouls that one back out of play as well. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Mack. Bases empty, 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Milbank is trailing Volga 5-3. And here's the pitch to Copeland. There's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts recorded now by righty Broden Teskey. And that'll bring up now Bennett Hunt.
Number 15, Bennett Hunt.
For Milbank. Bennett Hunt's popped out to short here so far tonight, so he's 0 for 1. And here's the Teskey pitch. Curveball that stays inside that time. 1 ball and no strikes. To Hunt. Here's the pitch to Bennett. That's outside. So 2 balls and no strikes. Again, if you're just tuning in, Volga is leading here 5-3. They scored 5 in their half of the 3rd. They answered Milbank's 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Here's the 2-0. That's going to go the other way, and that's going to be into right field for a single for Bennett Hunt. So he swings a little bit late, dumps it into right field, goes the opposite way with a single, and that'll bring up Brady Allen now.
Number 3, Brady Allen.
Brady Allen has flied out to left field, so he's 0 for 1 tonight here in this game as well. And here's the pitch from Teskey. That's right across Broadway. No balls and 1 strike to Brady Allen. And the 0-1 to Brady. That's a mighty swing and just a few feet foul off to the left. So Brady now in an 0-2 hole. 2 outs. Bennett Hunt on first here in the bottom of the 3rd. Volga leads 5-3. And the pitch from Teskey that misses inside. Gets away a little bit from the catcher Schwartz, but not far enough for Bennett Hunt to gain second. So Brady Allen now with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And here it is. There's a foul back to the backstop. So Brady hanging tough now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, Hunt at first. Bottom of the 3rd here. There's a snap throw to first. Trying to catch Bennett napping over there, but he was a little ways off first, but he got back in safely standing up. So the 1-2 offering now upcoming to Brady Allen. Here it is. That's a called 3rd strike. So 3 strikeouts in the half inning, sandwiched by a Bennett Hunt single. And 3 innings complete. Milbank does not score in the 3rd. It is Volga 5, Milbank 3. We'll be back with more Heritage Tournament Legion Baseball coming up after this.
Remind you that an annual wellness exam is one of the best ways to stay healthy. Wellness exams can help catch health conditions early, and these visits help your primary care provider deliver care based on your health history and goals. Most insurance plans cover annual wellness visits, but coverage varies, so check with your insurance provider. Take charge of your health and schedule your wellness exam with Ortonville Area Health Services. Call 320-839-6157 to schedule.
This year, Pioneer celebrates a century of innovation. From the first corn hybrid to the latest innovation like more seed and less corn, or Pioneer brand Z-Series soybeans. They're proud to be the one you count on when every bushel counts. The 100th season of Pioneer. Contact Paul or Riley at Dakota Country Egg Service in Milbank today at 605-467-0715 or 605-949-4170 to learn more.
And with Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire in the background here, welcome back to Milbank. We're entering the top of the fourth now, and Volga has a 5-3 lead, and they're coming up to bat here. Broden Teskey, Brett Milton, and Braden Danzeson. Broden Teskey has walked, and he has flied out to center field. Here's the pitch. That is low from Mac Copeland. Copeland came in relief of Zach Kargas. Here's the Copeland pitch. That misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the Copeland pitch. That misses. 3-0. Here comes the pitch. That's fouled back to the netting. Here's the Copeland pitch. There's another foul out of play. Okay, here's the payoff pitch. Now there's a foul out of play once again by Broden Teskey to hang tough in the at-bat. So count rides along now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Teskey. And the Mac Copeland pitch. Here it comes. That's a walk. So Broden Teskey is on here to start the 4th inning, and that brings up Brett Milton. He has singled and scored a run and grounded out to third. Again, Volga is leading here 5-3. If you're just tuning in, tournament continues and concludes tomorrow. And again, we won't have the matchups until after this game. There's an 11 o'clock game and a 1 o'clock game and a 3 o'clock game. We'll tell you that for sure. But who's exactly playing who and when, we do not know yet at this point. A 1-0 pitch now. Here it comes. That is going to be inside to Brett Milton. 2 balls and no strikes to the first baseman for Volga. And the Copeland pitch, here it is. That's going to be on the ground to third. Bennett Hunt to second, and not throwing it to first is Mason Allen. So Brett Milton reaches on the fielder's choice. Out at second is Broden Teskey on the force out. That'll bring up Braden Danzeson, who has an RBI single tonight. He has reached on an error, and he has scored a run. Snap throw over to first by Copeland. Diving back in safely is Milton. Here's the pitch that just about gets away from Kargas. The throw down to second. It's there, and they get him. What a nice throw by Kargas that time to get Brett Milton. So out trying to steal second base. A nice strong throw by catcher Zach Kargas that time, and waiting for the tag that time and tagging out Brett Milton. And there is a 1-0 pitch that is a swing and a foul. So 1-1 now is the count. Bases aren't empty now for Volga with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Again, Volga is leading here 5-3, and the 1-1 pitch now upcoming from Mac Copeland. Here it is. That's going to be inside, and that hits Braden Danzeson.
That brings out number 22, Wyatt Hart.
That'll bring up Wyatt Hart now, who has an RBI single, a run scored, and he's popped out to second. So now Danzeson is over at first with 2 outs. There's the Copeland pitch. That's a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 2 double twos. Wyatt Hart, the third baseman tonight for Volga. And the 0-1, now here it is. That's into left field for a single. Left center field, actually, Danzeson on his horse. He's going to gain third. And into second with a double is Wyatt Hart. So now Volga threatening again, runners on second and third. There are 2 outs, though. But that will bring up now number 7, the left fielder, Isaac Skovlund for Volga. As Wyatt Hart kind of put that in between left fielder Caleb Lindstrom and center fielder Jackson Weesey. It didn't run all the way to the fence, but enough for Hart to get to second. Danzeson to third. Here's the pitch from Copeland. That is outside to Isaac Skovlund. So Volga threatening to add to their 5-3 lead here. See if Copeland can close the door. There's a tough hop out to Brady Allen. Fields it. Long throw to first. Good play by Brady at short. Volga leaves runners at second and third as Skovlund grounds out short to first. Volga comes up empty here in the top of the 4th. 3.5 complete here in Milbank in the Heritage Tournament. We'll be back with more Legion baseball right after this.
Can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. You want the best for work or play. We're your one-stop image shop. We'll help you show your pride. GoImagePartners.com.
Ready for fiber-fast internet and friendly service? Experience unbeatable speed and local support with ITC, your community-connected cooperative. When you call ITC, you're talking to a real person, a neighbor, not a robot. We take pride in offering same-day or next-day support when you need it, and our support doesn't stop there. With investment initiatives like ITC Impact, we're giving back to the communities that make us great. Faster internet and friendlier service are in reach with ITC. Get started today.
And welcome back into Milbank here. I'm Chad Knowles. Glad to be along with you on your Saturday, which has now turned into evening. You're listening to Classic Hits, 95.1 KMSD FM, 1510 AM KMSD, Milbank, South Dakota, and streaming audio and video on BigStoneRadio.com. And Tyler Heinge in the batter's box now for Milbank. Tyler has been hit by a pitch tonight and scored one of Milbank's 3 runs. It's 5-3. Volga in the lead as Heinge takes a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Caleb Lindstrom, Jackson Weesey waiting on deck for Milbank, and in the hole is Jackson Weesey. There's a hit into short left field, and that's going to be a dump single into left for Tyler Heinge. That is a case of hitting them where they ain't that time, if you will, as Tyler just dumped it past the shortstop, Kellen Tucker, and way in front of the left fielder, Isaac Skovlund. And that'll bring up now Caleb Lindstrom. Caleb reached on an error and scored a run last half inning. Here's the pitch to Lindstrom. That's low and outside. Heinge was threatening to run, but slams on the brakes. He does not go anywhere. A 1-0 count now to number 26, Caleb Lindstrom for Milbank. As the pitch, there's a jam shot. That's going to be on top of the Volga dugout here down the first base line. Foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both catcher Schwartz and first baseman Milton went after that one, and neither could come up with the baseball, so it's 1-1 now to Caleb Lindstrom. And the Broden-Teskey pitch. Here it is. That's right across the plate, but a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike to number 26, Caleb Lindstrom. Here's the pitch. Lindstrom goes the other way. That's a fly ball to right field. And not being able to catch it in foul territory down there is Miles Antonin. When that left Lindstrom's bat that time, I thought that perhaps was hit a little bit further than it was. But that was just medium deep right field in foul territory. But still, Antonin could not get to the baseball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Caleb Lindstrom. With Heinge on first and nobody out. Here's the pitch to Lindstrom. He swings and misses. Strikeout number 4 tonight for Volga right-hander Broden-Teskey. That'll bring up now Jackson Weesey, who walked and scored Milbank's 3rd run. Back in the 2nd inning. Milbank scored 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Volga answered that 3 with 5, so it's 5-3 Volga. They did that in the top of the 3rd. Throw over to first. Tyler Heinge dives back in safely. And the pitch now, here it is. There's a fly ball into short left field. And that is going to be caught down there in left field by Isaac Skovlund. So Weesey flies out to left field.
Now batting number 7, Mason Allen.
And that'll bring up Mason Allen, who has a perfect night going tonight, a single and a double and a couple of RBIs. So we'll see if Mason can keep the hit streak alive here tonight. Here's the pitch to Mason. That's a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike to the Milbank second baseman, number 7, Mason Allen. If Mason keeps the half inning alive, Zach Kargas will come to the dish. Here's the 0-1 to Allen. He swings and misses. So now Teskey way ahead here. No balls and 2 strikes to Mason Allen. And the 0-2, that's going to be a line drive into right or center field for a single. So Mason Allen has his 3rd hit in 3 trips tonight as he laces a single to center. Just about took umpire Sammy Femling's head off that time, just about, but Sammy got out of the way in plenty of time. Ronnie Kraus Jr., your home plate umpire tonight. Sammy Femling out on the bases. And that will bring up now Zach Kargas, who is looking for his first hit tonight. And here's the pitch to Zach. That's kind of a tough hop to third, and that's going to go back to the shortstop. And the throw over to first is an errant one. And 1 run is going to score, and going into second is Zach Kargas. Coming in to score is Tyler Heinge, and going all the way over to third is Mason Allen. And that is an errant throw on Volga that time, so that has opened up the gates here a little bit possibly for Milbank. It's 5-4 now, Milbank within 1. There are 2 outs, but Milbank now with runners on second and third, and Aiden Kelly at the dish. Aiden has struck out tonight and walked. So the tying run now for Milbank is 90 feet away. The go-ahead run is at second base. And here's the pitch. That is going to be a strike at the knees of Aiden Kelly from Teskey. So no balls and 1 strike now to Aiden Kelly. Here's the pitch. That is right across, but a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Aiden Kelly. Runners on second and third for Milbank. 2 outs. It's 5-4 Volga. Here's the pitch. There's a fist fly ball into the infield, and third baseman Wyatt Hart squeezes it, so Aiden Kelly pops out to third base. Milbank does crawl 1 closer, though. They score 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. 4 complete. Volga 5, Milbank 4 here in the Heritage Tournament, and we'll be back with more baseball from Milbank coming up right after this.
Vince Lanning. beautiful Big Stone Lake. Whether you're casting for walleye, perch or bass, or just enjoying the stunning view, Schmidt's Landing has something for everyone. Relax in comfortable lakeside suites, or set up your camper or tent for a long weekend. How about spending this summer at your seasonal RV spot? There are also boat and pontoon rentals, plus a fully stocked C-store with bait and license. Discover a family adventure or a peaceful retreat at Schmidt's Landing. Visit schmidtslanding.com and like them on Facebook.
Milbank Ford isn't just a dealership. It's part of your journey. Whether you're cruising toward adventure or hauling hometown pride, they've got the ride to get you there. Stop in and explore their lineup of tough F-Series trucks, fuel-efficient SUVs, and family-ready crossovers, all backed by local service you can count on. The road starts in Milbank, but it could take you anywhere. Come and find your Ford today at Milbank Ford, where small-town trust meets big-time value.
And welcome back into the broadcast booth here. I'm Chad on a beautiful Saturday night. Glad to have everybody along. Again, you're in tune to Classic Hits 95.1 KMSD FM, 1510 AM, KMSD Milbank, South Dakota. And streaming audio and video on our YouTube channel. Gotten a lot of good positive comments on that YouTube channel for sure, and as well as our local radio stations as well. I appreciate each and every one of them. And that'll bring up now number 24, Trenton Schmidt, here to open up the fifth inning for Volga, who's leading now 5-4. Here's the Copeland pitch. That's going to be a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And Schmidt retrieves the ball himself from the batter's box. He fouls that a little bit or takes it low, I should say. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the Copeland pitch. That's misses. 2 balls and no strikes now to Trenton Schmidt. He has walked and he has struck out here so far this evening. And the Copeland 2-0 now. Here it is. That is a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. And there's a called strike. So 3-1 now is the count to Trenton Schmidt. And here's the Copeland pitch. That is low, so Schmidt takes a walk. And then now we'll bring up Miles Antonin, the right fielder.
Miles Antonin.
Miles Antonin so far tonight has struck out, and he reached on a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch. That is a strike at the knees from Mac Copeland. No balls and 1 strike. Aiden Kelly holding the runner Schmidt down over there at first base. Here's the pitch. That's high and outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Antonin with Schmidt on first. And here's the pitch. That's way high that time by Mac. 2 balls and 1 strike. Copeland checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. That's a strike at the knees on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Antonin. And here comes the 2-2 now. Copeland checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Mac's second strikeout here this evening. And that will bring up Schwartz, Reagan Schwartz, the catcher.
Now by number 41, Reagan Schwartz.
He's got a walk and an RBI, and he struck out. Bases loaded walk to make the RBI, of course. And here's the pitch now from Copeland. That's low and outside. Nice job behind the dish that time by Kargas to prevent, at least for now, Schmidt from advancing into second base. 1 ball and no strikes. to Regan Schwartz. Here's the pitch. That's across the plate but high. 2 balls and no strikes. We've kind of lost the sun here for a while in Milbank. And the 2-0, that's low and in, so 3 balls and no strikes. So in this particular at-bat, the plate has jumped all over the place for Milbank left-hander Mac Copeland. 3 balls and no strikes now. Here comes the pitch. That is low and inside, so that's a walk to Reagan Schwartz. That pushes Schmidt over to second, turns over the top of the order now with Kellen Tucker.
The order number 11, Kellen Tucker.
Kellen Tucker, his only other time up against Copeland tonight, struck out. Before that, he reached on an error, scored a run, and popped out to short. So Schmidt at second, Schwartz at first for Volga. They are leading here 5-4 in the top of the 5th inning. Copeland checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. That is a strike at the knees of Kellen Tucker. So a no ball, 1 strike count now to Tucker. And the Copeland pitch, here it is. That's a grounder into right field for a single. They're going to wave the runner home. Here comes the throw to the plate, and that is going to be not in time. And so coming in to score is Trenton Schmidt. Gaining third is Reagan Schwartz. And reaching second is Kellen Tucker. And I believe there was an error out there somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Volga now is leading 6-4. And there's a hit into right field. 1 run is going to score. 2 runs are going to score. A 2-run single for Broden Teskey. And it is now 8-4 Volga. And Caden Kraus is going to go out to the mound now to talk to Mac Copeland. And so Milbank scored 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning, and now Volga so far has responded with 2 more of their own. So it is 8-4 now as Volga is leading here on the scoreboard. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors. Remind you, there are 3 games tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the 3rd place game, 1 o'clock, the 2nd place game, the 3rd at 3 o'clock, the 1st place game. And again, we will not know those matchups until this game is over. And Brett Milton now comes to the plate for Volga. Milton tonight has singled, scored, grounded out to third, and he reached on a fielder's choice, thrown out at second, trying to steal. So runner at first now, and there's a hit right up the box into center field by Milton. That was a hot shot that just about got Mac Copeland. And Brett Milton scorches a single.
Number 1, Braden Van Ziesen.
That'll bring up Braden Dan Ziesen now. Here's the pitch. There's a foul at home plate. So there's still only 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Volga has scored 2 so far, or 3, excuse me. They've scored 3. And it is 8-4. And there's a foul. So no balls and 2 strikes now to Braden Dan Ziesen. Teskey at second. Brett Milton at first. Volga with 3 across here so far in the top of the 5th. And here is the 0-2 Copeland pitch. There's a grounder down the first base line, foul. You got the lefty to lefty matchup here. Copeland left-handed pitcher, Dan Zeeson left-handed batter for Volga. Again, your score 8-4. Volga is leading here. And the 0-2 pitch now, here it is. That's high and in to Dan Zeeson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dan Zeeson, an RBI single tonight, a run scored. He's reached on an error and got hit by a pitch. Here's the 1-2. That is low and outside. Good eye that time by Dan Zeeson. He was just about going to offer at it, but did not. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Dan Zeeson. Here's the 2-2. That is that same pitch, but it's still low and outside. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, full count. Copeland struggling a little bit now to find home plate for Milbank. The full count now, and here's the payoff pitch. Dan Zeeson hits that one down the first base line, fielded in foul territory down there by first baseman Aiden Kelly. But of course, all he does is throw it back to his pitcher, Mac Copeland, and the base runners return to their bases. Teskey to second, Milton to first. And the payoff pitch once again to Dan Zeeson is upcoming here from Copeland. And here it is. There is a 1 hopper to short. Brady Allen to second for 1, to first. Not in time. So they get the middle runner, Brett Milton. He's out at second. Gaining third is Teskey. And reaching on the fielder's choice is Dan Zeeson. That'll bring up Hart, Wyatt Hart.
And plate number 22, Wyatt Hart.
Wyatt Hart steps to the plate here for post 114. Again, it's 8-4. Volga's leading here in the top of the 5th. There goes the runner to second. Kargas does not throw through, and instead Mac Copeland cuts it off at the pitcher's mound. So gaining second is Dan Zeeson. Of course, staying at third amongst all that is Teskey. Here's the pitch. That is high across the plate from Copeland. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wyatt Hart. Wyatt Hart has a double tonight. He has a single. RBI popped out to second. And here's the 1-1. That's golfed at literally that time and fouled. It ends up in fair territory, but it's fouled off the foot, I believe, of Wyatt Hart. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to number 22. And the Mac Copeland 1-2, here it comes. There's a mile-high pop-up down the right field line and giving it a look, but it's going to be out of play. Foul is first baseman Aiden Kelly, catcher Zach Kargas over there as well. And right fielder Tyler Heinze. They all kind of came over and gave it a look, but it landed on top of the Volga dugout here down the first base line. The 1-2 from Copeland. That is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on base. 8-4 Volga. Here's the pitch. That is low, so the count is full. To Wyatt Hart. 2 outs, full count pitch. Here's the payoff pitch. Here it is, a swing and a miss. Copeland gets his 3rd strikeout in relief, but Volga does add 3 more to their total. So now going into the bottom of the 5th, it is Volga 8, Milbank 4. Back with more Legion baseball right after this.
Where tobacco is a thing of the past, remaining only as a relic in a museum display case for tour guides to tell tales of. Where the life-threatening damage caused by tobacco is gone, extinct. Where the world has seen its last smoke put out. Smokes, vapes, and chew tips belong in a museum of ancient history, not your mouth. Start your quit today. Find out more at thelastsmoke.org. Paid for by the South Dakota Department of Health
and the Milbank Tobacco Coalition.
At 203 Realty in Milbank, a huge part of their formula for success is their agent team. One of those agents is Brandon Perry. Brandon is a Wilmot native, Northern State grad, and has resided in Milbank for over 22 years. Brandon joined the real estate world after 25 years of service in the National Guard. Brandon's attention to detail, patience, commitment to his customers, and willingness to put in the extra hours is what sets him apart.
Hi, this is Brandon Perry with 203 Realty. Contact us today by visiting 203-realty.com. At 203 Realty, your address is more than just a number.
Welcome back in here to Milbank. Again, I'm Chad Knowles. Glad to bring you this game here. Volga is leading 8-4 over Milbank Post 9. Milbank Post 9 will bring up hitters 4, 5, and 6 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
The bottom of the 5th. For Milbank, number 11, Matt Copeland.
So Matt Copeland in the batter's box now. He is struck out and grounded to second. And here's the pitch. There's a mile-high pop-up into foul territory, but nobody's going to get it because it's way foul. So no balls and 1 strike. The count to Matt Copeland for Milbank. Broden Teskey has gone the whole way here on the mound tonight so far for Volga. And here's the 0-1 from Teskey. That stays outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So we'll see if Milbank can get a little rally going here, perhaps. 1 ball and 1 strike. Milbank down by 4 now, 8-4. Here's the pitch. There's a kind of a defensive swing that time, and Copeland fouls it down the first base line. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the pitcher, Matt Copeland. And the 1-2 pitch is upcoming. Here it is. That is, hits the pitcher, throws his cap off, throws the ball away, and Copeland is going to gain second base on the errant throw by the pitcher. Because I think if Teskey would have come up with that cleanly, I think he could have gotten Copeland.
198.675.
And that brings up Bennett Hunt. He has singled tonight in a couple of trips. He's popped out to short. And Broden Teskey, and here's the pitch. That is a strike at the knees. So no balls and 1 strike now to Bennett Hunt. Matt Copeland at second. Volga up 8-4. Here's the pitch. That is a strike at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Bennett Hunt. Brady Allen waits on deck here for Post 9. And the 0-2 pitch to Hunt. Here it is. Scorches that one down the third base line, but foul. So no balls and 2 strikes now. The count remains to Bennett Hunt. And here's the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 tonight recorded for Volga right-hander Broden Teskey. And that now will bring up Brady Allen, who has struck out and flied out to left. So Brady looking for his first hit here tonight. With Matt Copeland standing at second, Milbank trailing by 4. Here's the pitch. That's low and outside to Brady Allen. Brady takes it. 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch now to Brady. Here it is. That's on the ground to third. Scooped up over there by Hart. And there's an errant throw to first. And Matt Copeland is going to come in from second. And Brady Allen reaches second, on the errant throw. And Copeland comes in to score. And it is now 8-5 Volga. So Volga kind of throwing the ball all over the place here in this half inning. And Milbank so far taking advantage. Here's Tyler Heinge now at the dish. Tyler has singled. He has been hit by a pitch and scored a couple runs. 8-5. Milbank is one closer now on the scoreboard. Here's the pitch to Heinge. That is going to hit Tyler. And Tyler's been hit. Now that's the second time he's been hit tonight. Tyler's going to try to shake it off. And that'll bring up Caleb Lindstrom now with runners on first and second. So Caleb Lindstrom represents the tying run here for Milbank. As Milbank is down 3. Here's the pitch to Caleb. He takes a mighty swing and doesn't get anything. No balls and 1 strike now to number 26, Caleb Lindstrom. Caleb has reached on an error and he has struck out. The 0-1 to Lindstrom. Here it is. There's a pop-up. And the catcher comes back and can't quite make the catch right at the retaining wall. Nice effort that time by Reagan Schwartz, but he just couldn't catch up with it. It actually hit his glove and popped out. So new life here now for Caleb Lindstrom. We'll see if Caleb can take advantage here possibly. If you're given any extra pitches, which Caleb just was now, no balls and 2 strikes. Here it is. And that's going to be into short center field, and that will be caught, though, out there by Dan Zeeson, who was playing Lindstrom just about perfectly that time in center field. And that'll bring up now Jackson Weesey. Jackson flied out to left, and he has walked and scored a run. So runners still on first and second for Milbank, but now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It is Volga 8, Milbank 9 or 5. Here's the pitch. That's high and in to Weesey. If Jackson reaches, we turn the top of the lineup with Mason Allen. A 1-ball, no strike count now to Jackson Weesey with runners on first and second. And here's the 1-0 to Jackson. That's over his head. So runners now will go to second and third. Brady Allen to third. Tyler Heinge to second. So now that changes the complexion. A single or a double by Weesey. And you've got yourself an 8-7 ball game potentially. But that's runners at second and third. Now there's going to be a meeting at the mound as the Volga coach runs out from the first base dugout. Again, thanks to our sponsors bringing you these games: Schmidt's Landing, ITC, Pro Image Partners, Lewis Family Drug, Chiropractic in Motion, Dakota Country Ag Service, Ortonville Area Health Services, Border Lake Insurance, Milbank Ford, Aslan Construction, Bean Pharmacy, 203 Realty, Milbank Tobacco Coalition, Avera Milbank Medical Center, Milbank Area Hospital Avera, and the Millstone Family Restaurant. Meeting at the mound is over. And now it's a 2-0 count to Jackson Weesey with runners on second and third and 2 outs. Here's the 2-0. That's going to miss low and outside. So 3 balls and no strikes now to Jackson. So we'll see if Jackson can reach first base on the walk here, but we'll wait and see. 3 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. That is a 4-pitch walk. So Jackson Weesey loads the bases now with his walk. And that will bring up Mason Allen now with a chance to do a little damage here. Mason has a pair of singles tonight, a double, and 2 RBIs. So here's the pitch now to Allen. He takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike to the Milbank second baseman. Bases are full of post 9 runners, and catcher Schwartz notices something that he needs to tell his pitcher. So he runs out to the mound quickly. Mason Allen with a no ball, 1 strike count. Brady Allen at third, Tyler Heinge at second, Jackson Weesey over at first. Bases are full of Milbank runners, and the 0-1 now to Mason Allen. Mason pops it up high in the air to shortstop. And And Tucker puts it away. So Milbank does score one, but they leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the fifth. 5 complete. Milbank Legion Heritage Baseball Tournament here. We will be back with more after this from our sponsors, from our video sponsors here tonight.
Darren and his crew offer the best mechanic service, along with a full lineup of Ford vehicles. They pride themselves on the honest and friendly way of doing business. Check out milbankford.com to see what they have to offer, or stop by Milbank Ford, West Highway 12, Milbank.
Whimsy on Main makes it easy to find unique gifts for all occasions. Whimsy specializes in packages specific to your gift-giving needs. Shop in store for books, home toys, games, and more, Monday through Saturday, or online at whimsyonmain.com. Let Whimsy on Main be your one-stop gift shop on Main Street, Milbank.
This broadcast brought to you locally by Dennis Mears, financial advisor with Legacy Financial Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Your future is counting on the right financial advice.
And welcome back here to Milbank. Number 7 is in the batter's box now. Isaac Skovlin for Volga here to open up the top of the 6th inning. Volga is leading here on the scoreboard, 8-5. Matt Copeland in relief of starting pitcher Zach Gargas here this evening. So 1-1 the count now to Isaac Skovlin. Here's the pitch from Copeland. That's going to be down the third base line, but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Skovlin tonight is grounded out to short, popped out to second, and singled. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That's high and outside on the fastball from Copeland. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. The count is even. And here comes the 2-2 from Copeland. That's low and outside to fill up the count. So Skovlin now with a very patient at-bat, filling up the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch to Skovlin. That misses. That's a walk. So Isaac jogs down to first base.
That's going to bring number 24, Trenton Schmidt.
And now we'll bring up Trenton Schmidt now, who has walked twice, scored a run, and struck out. So the Copeland pitch now, squaring to bunt, lays it down. Copeland fields his position, throws it to first. Trenton Schmidt is out. But gaining second is Isaac Skovlin, and that'll bring up now Miles Antonin. Miles has struck out a couple of times tonight. So Skovlin at second. Here's the pitch. That is low to Antonin. 1 ball and no strikes now to number 27, the right fielder tonight for Volga. Here's the 1-0 Copeland pitch. That is hit off to the right, foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Reagan Schwartz waits on deck for Volga, post number 114. And there's a fastball that misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Antonin ahead now in the count. The Copeland 2-1 pitch is coming up. Here it is. That's down the third base line, and that is just foul. Ooh, that looked like that was just about over the bag, but that was close. That was just foul by the hair of your chinny chin, literally. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Antonin. With Skovlin on second. Here's the 2-2. That is low and inside. Or actually, that hits Antonin. So he goes to first base. That'll bring up Regan Schwartz. Schwartz has walked a couple of times, has an RBI. Struck out, and he scored a run. There's a strike thrown in by Copeland. Here's the 0-1. There's a swing and a miss by Schwartz. And there's a pitch that's hit down the first base line, but foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Schwartz. Skovland on second, Antonin on first with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And the 0-2 now from Copeland. Here it is. There's a swing and a miss. So Schwartz goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Copeland here tonight in relief.
Back to the top of the order, number 11, Kellen Tucker.
That'll bring up now the top of the order, and Kellen Tucker, he has reached twice tonight on an error. Scored a couple of runs, struck out, and popped out to short. That's his output here tonight. So now there's 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Copeland deals. That's inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Now to number 11, Kellen Tucker. One ball and no strikes to Tucker. Here's the pitch. That is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on first and second for Volga. They are already leading here 8-5. Here's the pitch from Copeland. That is fouled back to the netting behind home plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Strike. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now 2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 men on for Volga here in the top of the 6th inning. And there is a called 3rd strike. So Matt Copeland gets his 5th strikeout in relief tonight, and that closes 5.5 here in Milbank. Volga comes up empty. It is Volga 8, Milbank 5. We'll be back with more after this. Again, from our video sponsors here tonight. Back after this.
The difference fiber-fast internet can make in your home or business. ITC pairs unbeatable speed with local support to provide an exceptional customer experience. Get started today with ITC, your community-connected cooperative.
Smoke breaks take time. Time away from defining moments in life. His moment of glory was your moment. Wasted. Fewer moments wasted. More good years.
Pro Image Partners. So many reasons why you can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. ProImagePartners.com.
Ortonville Area Health Services. Our mission? At Ortonville Area Health Services, we provide personalized, high-quality, and compassionate care through caring professionals in a healing environment. Your healthcare home, Ortonville Area Health Services.
And it's getting to be crunch time here for Milbank in this one. Milbank is down here 8-5. And they're trailing Volga here on the scoreboard as Milbank will bring up batters number 2, 3, and 4 now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Zach Kargas leads things off. He has reached on an error tonight. Grounded to short, flied out to center. Broden Teskey still on the mound. He's gone the whole way here tonight for Volga. He throws one low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Zach Kargas. And the 1-0, there's a strike at the knees of Kargas. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to tonight's starting pitcher for Milbank, but now he's been the catcher. Grounder to short. That takes kind of a bad hop, but staying with it nicely is Kellen Tucker out there at short. And he throws out Zach Cargus. So Cargus grounds out short to first, and that'll bring up Aiden Kelly now, who has popped out to third, struck out and walked. One down, bases empty here, bottom of the sixth. Here's the pitch. That is low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to number 22, Aiden Kelly. And here is the 1-0. That's a chopper down the third base line, but foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Aiden Kelly. Mac Copeland waits on deck here for Milbank. And the 1-1, now here it is. That's a mile-high pop-up. Catcher coming back to give it a look, and he grabs it. Nice job by Regan Schwartz that time in foul territory. So that's going to bring up Mac Copeland now, who has reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out second to first. And here's the pitch. That is low and outside to Copeland. So 1 ball and no strikes now to Mac, who has been the pitcher for the past few innings here for Milbank tonight. And the 1-0 now, here it is. That's low and outside, so Mac takes it. 2 balls and no strikes. If Mac keeps the half inning alive, Bennett Hunt will come to the dish. 2 balls and no strikes now to Milbank's pitcher tonight. In relief, Mac Copeland goes to right field for a single. Golfed that one out into right field that time, did Mac. And then now we'll bring up Bennett Hunt. And first of all, a meeting on the mound, a mound visit coming up by the Volga coach. Again, he's going to gather the infield in here, and we might, I don't know if we're going to have a pitching change here or not. The Volga coach is now coming to talk to home plate umpire Ronnie Kraus Jr. So we will see what's transpiring here. Okay, so now that quick meeting on the mound is over. Broden Teskey is staying on the bump for Volga. And again, that brings up Bennett Hunt for Milbank. 2 outs, Mac Copeland on first. Milbank trails Volga here 8-5. And here is the pitch now upcoming. There's a hit into left field, and that's going to drop for a single. So Bennett Hunt dumps one into left for a single. Mac Copeland at second. And Brady Allen all of a sudden represents the tying run here for Milbank. It's 8-5 Volga. Again, Brady is the tying run at the plate. Brady Allen tonight has reached on an error. He has struck out and flied out to left. So now would be a perfect time for Brady's first hit here tonight. Here's the pitch to Brady. Takes it high and in on the fastball from Teskey. 1 ball and no strikes to Allen. Here's the pitch. That's going to hit Brady. So now the bases are loaded. Mac Copeland to third, Bennett Hunt to second, Tyler Heinge now at the plate. And now there's going to be another visit from the Volga coach, and I think there might have to be a pitching change maybe this time. We'll have to wait and see. And I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see what happens here. And there will be a pitching change. We'll catch up with it, and we'll be back with the particulars coming up next here on KMSD.
Your health, you deserve a pharmacy that knows you by name. At Bean Pharmacy, your well-being is their priority. Stop in for fast, friendly service, convenient drive-through pickup, and a full line of durable medical equipment to keep you moving. Need a quick refill? Submit your prescription anytime online at beanpharmacy.com. Bean Pharmacy, where patients come first. Find them inside the Avera Medical Center in Milbank. Bean Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy with a personal touch, because caring for you is what they do best.
Haslett Construction in Ortonville, Minnesota is known for their quality work. Additions to the Valley Queen Cheese Factory and First Bank and Trust, St. Lawrence School, Milbank Elementary, Ortonville Area Health Services, and the Big Stone County Highway Department Garage, and so many other projects over the years. They are known for their quality work and professionalism on the job. That's what makes Haslett Construction the contractor you want for your building project. Go with the people you trust. Haslett Construction, Ortonville, Minnesota.
And welcome back to Milbank. The pitching changed, and now on the bump for Volga is number 22, Wyatt Hart. And just a straight switch for defense, so Broden Teskey is now at third base for Volga, who leads here 8-5, but Milbank has the bases loaded here in the bottom of the sixth. Again, this tournament continues and ends tomorrow. Third place game at 11, second place game at 1, and the championship at 3. And again, we do not know the matchups even as we sit here right now. It depends on how this game turns out here tonight. So the tension is building here. The bases are loaded for Milbank, 2 outs. Tyler Heinge in the batter's box. And here's the Wyatt Hart pitch. Oh, Heinge was all over that one, but just fouled it. So no ball and 1 strike. The count now to Tyler Heinge. Bases full of post 9 runners, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Hart, here's his pitch. That's going to be fouled back, so Hart jumps way ahead. Now no balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Heinge. Matt Copeland at third, Bennett Hunt at second, Brady Allen at first. 2 outs and the 0-2 pitch now from Hart. Here it comes, and that's going to be fouled out of play. So Heinge staying tough in there. It's 8-5 Volga, but Milbank threatening here with 2 outs, and the bases are full of post 9 runners. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tyler. That's going to be a called third strike. And that's a big strikeout for Volga's relief pitcher Wyatt Hart. And Milbank does leave the bases loaded. They come up empty. 6 complete. It's Volga 8, Milbank 5. We'll be back with more Legion baseball right after this.
For health, you deserve a pharmacy that knows you by name. At Bean Pharmacy, your well-being is their priority. Stop in for fast, friendly service, convenient drive-through pickup, and a full line of durable medical equipment to keep you moving. Need a quick refill? Submit your prescription anytime online at beanpharmacy.com. Bean Pharmacy, where patients come first. Find them inside the Avera Medical Center in Milbank. Bean Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy with a personal touch, because caring for you is what they do best.
Haslett Construction in Ortonville, Minnesota is known for their quality work. Additions to the Valley Queen Cheese Factory and First Bank and Trust, St. Lawrence School, Milbank Elementary, Ortonville Area Health Services, and the Big Stone County Highway Department Garage, and so many other projects over the years. They are known for their quality work and professionalism on the job. That's what makes Haslett Construction the contractor you want for your building project. Go with the people you trust. Haslett Construction, Ortonville, Minnesota.
And the game is over. So Volga wins over Milbank tonight 8-5. And again, the tournament concludes tomorrow. But again, we do not know the matchups yet. So we're going to try to keep it here a little bit longer tonight and see if we can certainly get you the matchups here on the air. As let's recap this one. Milbank scores 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. That's their 5 runs. Volga scores 5 in the 3rd, and they add 3 in the 5th. And so that is your final tonight. Volga wins here 8-5 over Milbank. So let's recap today's action here. Sisseton beat Redfield 10-5 this morning. Then it was Parkston over Groton 4-1. Redfield over Wynn 9-1. Parkston over Castlewood 8-0. And now Volga over Milbank 8-5. And those are your finals from today. And again, we're going to try to keep it here a little bit longer here in the post game so we can hopefully find out who's playing who tomorrow and when, as Volga does come up the winner here by an 8-5 score. And so I want to thank our sponsors here, the Millstone Family Restaurant, Avera Milbank Medical Center, Milbank Area Hospital, Avera, Milbank Tobacco Coalition, 203 Realty, Bean Pharmacy, Haslam Construction, Milbank Ford, Border Lake Insurance, Ortonville Area Health Services, Dakota Country Ag Service, Chiropractic in Motion, Lewis Family Drug Pro Image Partners, ITC, and Schmidt's Landing. Those are your radio and audio sponsors. And again, like I said, we're just going to try to keep it right here for a while, and we'll see if we can catch up with the lineups or the games for tomorrow, of course, which will have radio implications and YouTube implications as well. But we're going to break another time here, and we'll be back. Hopefully with tomorrow's matchups, we'll be back. So stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. It's breakfast time at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Milbank. The Millstone loves breakfast as much as you do, but they decided it's time to step up their breakfast game even more. Check out their new breakfast lineup, which includes blueberry French toast, the chicken and waffles breakfast sandwich, and their new lineup of eggs Benedict. It's all part of their new Shell Yeah breakfast menu at the Millstone Family Restaurant, East Highway 12 in Milbank.
We're passionate about getting yearly mammograms because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You can get a yearly mammogram to detect it early. Would it help if I requested nicely? Please, could you be so kind as to get a mammo? We're singing it. Get your mammogram starting at 40, or with a British accent. Schedule your mammo with an Avera Breast Center at avera.org/breast or call 888-422-1410.
And welcome back into Milbank here, day number 2 of the Heritage Baseball tournament here in Milbank. Again, we're still awaiting the official matchups and times for tomorrow. Well, times we know, 11, 1, and 3. But again, we're going to try to keep it here until we have the official matchups. So Volga beats Milbank here tonight 8-5. Here in this game, again, earlier today, Sisseton over Redfield 10-5, Parkston over Groton 4-1, Redfield beats Wynn 9-1, Parkston beat Castlewood 8-0, and Volga beat Milbank 8-5. Yesterday, Sisseton beat Wynn, Groton shut out Castlewood 8-0, Volga defeated Claremont 10-0 in 4 innings, Milbank defeated Claremont last night 11-1 in 4 innings. So again, we can tell you that Milbank American Legion Baseball is sponsored on KMSD by the Millstone Family Restaurant, Avera Milbank Medical Center, Milbank Area Hospital, Avera, Milbank Tobacco Coalition, 203 Realty, Bean Pharmacy, Haslam Construction, Milbank Ford, Border Lake Insurance, Ortonville Area Health Services, Dakota Country Ag Service, Chiropractic in Motion, Lewis Family Drug Pro Image Partners, ITC, and Schmidt's Landing. Milbank's next action, well, that'll be tomorrow sometime. So again, again, we're just going to hang right here and try to find out who Milbank plays. We're going to take a break in the meantime for our video sponsors here. So we're going to take a break and we'll be back. Here's our video sponsors.
Darren and his crew offer the best mechanic service, along with a full lineup of Ford vehicles. They pride themselves on the honest and friendly way of doing business. Check out MilbankFord.com to see what they have to offer, or stop by Milbank Ford, West Highway 12, Milbank.
Whimsy on Main makes it easy to find unique gifts for all occasions. Whimsy specializes in packages specific to your gift-giving needs. Shop in store for books, home toys, games, and more, Monday through Saturday, or online at whimsyonmain.com. Let Whimsy on Main be your one-stop gift shop on Main Street, Milbank.
This broadcast brought to you locally by Dennis Mears, financial advisor with Legacy Financial Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Your future is counting on the right financial advice.
And we're still awaiting the matchups for tomorrow. So we're going to step aside again here on KMSD and the YouTube channel as well. And we're going to play the rest of our video sponsors here for tonight. And we'll be back shortly.
What's the difference fiber-fast internet can make in your home or business? ITC pairs unbeatable speed with local support to provide an exceptional customer experience. Get started today with ITC, your community-connected cooperative.
Smoke breaks take time. Time away from defining moments in life. His moment of glory was your moment. Wasted. Fewer moments wasted. More good years.
Pro Image Partners. So many reasons why you can turn to us. We'll help you show your pride. ProImagePartners.com.
Ortonville Area Health Services. Our mission at Ortonville Area Health Services, we provide personalized, high quality, and compassionate care through caring professionals in a healing environment. Your healthcare home, Ortonville Area Health Services.
All right, here are the matchups for tomorrow. Fresh out of the press, as they say. Milbank will play Redfield at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So that'll be actually not the KMSD broadcast because we have church on KMSD, but we will bring that one to you on the live stream only tomorrow at 11. Again, Milbank against Redfield, live stream only tomorrow at 11. And then at 1 o'clock, Sisseton goes against Groton. We'll have that on our sister station, B103, so we'll hit the air a little bit before 1 o'clock. Sisseton and Groton at 1 o'clock, and then Parkston and Volga at 3 o'clock. There'll be no radio or internet for that one, but that's for the championship tomorrow. So again, Milbank and Redfield at 11 o'clock for third place. That game will be live stream only for KMSD because of our church commitments. And then 1 o'clock is the second place game, Sisseton against Groton. That's on our sister station, B103, and the YouTube channel as well. And then 3 o'clock, the championship, Parkston against Volga. All right, for KMSD, for our YouTube channel, I'm Chad Knowles. Good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on the live stream from KMSD at 11 and the B103 and YouTube tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the Sisseton Groton game. All righty, for tonight from Milbank, I'm Chad Knowles.